Hello and welcome to In This Tech. My name is Okwong and welcome to this SolidWorks tutorial. Today we shall be talking about SolidWorks assemblies, and we shall learn more about assemblies by continuing from our last two videos, the assembly of this kitchen sink. From our last videos, we had designed the sink, the door mold, the short door mold, the faucet, the faucet handle, the cabinet, and the cabinet doors. We are going to assemble these parts to form this kitchen sink assembly, and we are going to learn more about SolidWorks assembly as we progress. We are going to talk about assemblies, what assembly is, assembly design methods, how to prepare for an assembly, mates, in context design, and how to examine the assembly. An assembly is a collection of related parts in one SolidWorks document. They can contain anywhere from 2 to over 2,000 components, which can be parts, other assemblies, or sub-assemblies. They can also display movement between related parts within their degrees of freedom. The components in an assembly are defined in relation to each other using assembly mates. You can attach assembly components using various types of mates such as coincident mates, concentric mates, and distance mates. So without further ado, let us start the assembly of these components. What I'm going to do is click on File and click on Make Assembly from Part and click OK. Now, because I already opened the components before, they are already outlined here in this menu, so I can select the parts and bring them into the graphic design area. Now, there are two methods usually used for assembly design. The first is the bottom-up design, and the second is the top-down design. In the bottom-up design, which we are going to be using now, you create the parts and insert them into the assembly. But with the top-down design, you create the parts within the assembly. So you open an assembly file first, and then you create the parts in the assembly file. Now I'm going to insert the components, and we are going to start assembling them. I will start with the faucet. I click on the faucet and I tap on the graphic area and it imports. Next, I'm going to insert new components. Click on insert components here, and then I will insert the faucet handle. I can choose to copy this part because we need two faucet handles. I can choose to copy this part. If I click on Ctrl C and I click on Ctrl plus V, the part pastes. I can also choose to insert the part again, and then since it's facing the wrong way, I want to rotate it. There we go. So it's facing this side now. Now we are going to attach these handles to this surface using mates. Mates are going to help us to position the components of an assembly precisely with respect to each other. So I want to click on mate. I'll click on this face and click on this face, and you see what happens. They move together to connect. Now you can see it is in the wrong position. Most times, often, it is required that you use more than one mate to fully define a part in an assembly. So I'm going to use another mate. I'm going to mate this part, this face here, with this one. You see, we get a concentric mate in this position, and that allows us to be able to rotate it. If I want to click OK now for the concentric mate, there we go. We can see it rotates only. It doesn't move up, it doesn't go down. All it does is move and rotate. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm meeting this face with this one. You can see it moves down. After this mate, the rotation is irregular. This is not what we want. We want this to move only in a rotationary direction. So I will be adding the same mates as I did before to the other faucet handle. This one and this one, a concentric mate, and voila, we have our faucet assembly complete. Now I'm going to insert the sink. Insert components, sink. I'm going to bring it here. Okay. We're going to need to attach this faucet to this sink. We're going to have to add a mate. One of the first mates we'll add is a coincident mate. I'm going to make this face to be coincident with this face. That means that this face is going to be touching that face. However, hold on. However, as you can see, this is in the wrong position. I'm going to have to delete that mate and mate these components again. Since I want this to be in this hole, I'm going to mate this face with this hole in here. And then this cylindrical face with this hole here. A parallel mate. SolidWorks will automatically select the mate that best applies to the parts that you want to connect. So we have here a parallel mate, and that's what we want, a parallel mate. Now, if I select a coincident mate in this condition, you can see that it aligns perfectly. And this is what we want. This is what we want. Hold on, let me just straighten this. Okay. Now I'm going to add the cabinet. Insert components and add cabinet. Let me rotate this. Okay. Good. I'm going to add coincident mates to help us to define it properly. So I will mate not the edge. I want to mate this face and this one in here. I also want to mate this face and this one in here. Look at what we have. But then this assembly is not yet fully defined. There are irregularities in the movement. I want to use mates to fix that. Now, this is rotating. It is wrong. We do not want it to rotate. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go back to the mate. And delete it. I will create a new mate. Here, edit it, and click on lock rotation. By clicking on lock rotation, I'm ensuring that it will not be able to rotate. As you can see, it does not rotate anymore. So yes, we're good to go. So I'm going to add my mates again, mating this face and this one, a coincident mate. Then I'll mate this face and this one. Now we don't want these to this to come out like this, so I'm going to create a mate between this face, and the one at the bottom. I'm going to make a distance mate. Let's give it 920. It still comes out a little, so let's make it 910. Okay, 905 this time, and there we have it. It's in there. To come back quite a bit, so 903 mm. Okay, it's better now. There you go. We have our mate. But if you observe, you can see that there's an error here. The sink is not quite matched with this, so we're going to have to edit one of these components so that it can fit in properly, because this is not right. How do we do that? Does that mean that we are going to have to start again and from the beginning and do the design? No. So SolidWorks allows what we call in context assembly, where I can edit the components within the context of the assembly. So I'm going to save it. Let's call it sync the video. Save all. I can choose to edit this feature. Edit the component rather. I'm going to come here. In our last video, we used a shell to make this hole in the cabinet. So I can change this to 20 and it will adjust within the context of the design. If I click on exit, we can see that. Where is it? It is almost there, but it is not. So I'm going to have to edit the size of the sink. Okay, so now I'm going to click on this face, click on edit sketch. Let's make it 575. There you go. Okay, now it fits a lot better now. It is no longer inserting itself into the wooden parts of the assembly. Alright then, we're almost done. Now I'm going to insert the door assembly. Where is it? Cabinet door. Okay, hold on. What just happened? Okay, it seems to have fixed itself. So yeah, now we are going to insert the door molds, insert components. Insert the mold. Okay, I'm going to rotate it. Rotate it again. Okay. Now I'm going to mate this. After going to mate these edges, a coincident mate between the edges. Let's see what that. Okay. Now I am going to mate these edges. This and what's that one? This, yes. Coincident. Okay, very good. Now after doing that, we will observe that the other edge is not touching this edge. This gives us the opportunity to perform another in context edit. So I will take this part, click on, because in our last video we extruded to get this component. So I am going to click on edit the feature and make it 814, for instance. So as you can see, that was not enough. Let's go again. Edit the feature. 820. 824. 825. Okay, looks like it is coincident now. And there we go. We're able to get it to coincide. With the other. Okay. So we have a problem down here. Let me sort it out. Okay, so our mate was not fully defined. That is why it stretched to that end when I increased it to 828. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back to 814. And then I am going to add another mate. Oh, it's already aligned now, but still important. I do this to make it more defined. Okay, let's see what's going on at the top. Okay, perfect. It's aligned now. So what I'm going to do is I will copy this path, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, or I can just insert it. Let me add the necessary mates. This one to this edge. This edge and this edge coincident. And there we go, we have our mates added. Now for the short door molds. I'm going to come here and rotate it. Okay. Let's see what we have here. It is not long enough. So I'm going to perform another in context edit. Let's make this 414. We mate one face first. Oh no. I'm going to add a mate between this face and no, this face. Then add one between this edge and this edge. Okay, then everything is properly aligned. So I will just do the same thing at the bottom and set components, short mode video. Where is the component? Okay. Rotate. Rotate. Insert. Now time for the mates. This one and that is, and then I will make this face and this face. There we go, we have finished the door assembly. Now we are going to mate this face with this one here, and this face with my battery is low. This one here. Then you can see that it is still moving, so we need to properly define the mate. I will then mate this edge with this edge right there. So yeah, the component, it says that the component is fully defined, so it cannot be moved here. So yep, this is our assembly. We're able to do in context designs and learn more about mates by carrying out this simple sink assembly. It is also possible to hide or show components. I can choose to hide this. I can choose to hide this. You can choose to hide this as well. It's easier. It helps when you want to create mates or when you want to examine a part properly. When you use this hide or show tools, you can also create an exploded view of the component. To make an exploded view, you simply select the component, click on exploded view, select, click on done, click on the other, select, click done, the other component, select, click done, this as well, done, then can click on this, okay, you can click done. You can do the same thing here and click done. And we're left with the last part. Now just bring it down a little so it doesn't feel left behind. Click done. Yeah. So if I go to configuration, click on exploded view, I can choose to animate the collapse. So yeah, this is what SolidWorks assembly allows us to do. In our next video, we're going to learn how to make drawings from parts. We're going to make 2D drawings. That is drawings, or let's call them schematic diagrams. From this part, we'll make a schematic diagram or a drawing from this, more like a blueprint, more or less, for this part in our next video. So stay tuned and subscribe, leave a comment, like and share. Thank you for watching.